Today, it's my baby.
Your baby.
This is my baby. This is what we started with, Shiraz Viognier. Well, we label it Shiraz now, but it's Shiraz Viognier. When we started out in Langhorne Creek making Shiraz Viognier and Viognier. So Shiraz Viognier, if you buy this style of wine, is called Côte Rôtie from the Rhône Valley in France. So in the Rhône, they co-ferment Viognier skins on Syrah to help build the body of the wine because it's quite cool where it is. And the wines are quite demure and sometimes don't actually reach full phenolic ripeness. So they used Viognier to help balance it out to create the wine. What I always loved when I moved here was that Langhorne Creek, you had Langhorne Creek and McLarenville and the Adelaide Hills and the Barossa and Clare Valley and Coonawarra. They're all different climates and regions and different flavor profiles. But the one thing to me was that the Langhorne Creek just reflected and reminded me of those flavor profiles that were similar to that I tasted as a Canadian drinking a lot of Côte du Rhône or Rhône-based Syrah wines. I like drinking more medium-bodied wines. So to me, this co-fermentation adds a feminine edge to the nose. So it smells like a lady's purse. And when you drink it, it's like a man's wallet. It's got all this leathery, textural, sort of forest floor and spice and dried cedar and plum pudding. It creates complexity. It tells a story. But this is what we started with. It's still my favorite wine to make. It's still my favorite wine to drink. It's my return, my go-to. So
where did you get the name Lake Doctor?
I didn't get it. So as an Aussie, you would have always heard of like the Fremantle Doctor, right?
Yeah.
Well, in Langhorne Creek, they referred to it as a lake doctor because Lake Alexandrina borders the Langhorne Creek to the south. And what happens is we get these southerlies that blow up from Antarctica over the lake, and it'll drop the temperatures from like 40 degrees down to 15 degrees. So they have the lake doctor. And nobody trademarked it until we did. So guess what?
There you go.
It's not my creation. It's actually something that the locals created. It's just that unique terminology. Like a doctor to me is, I think more like from a European standpoint, like Dr. Lucen and things. So if you're a winemaker in Europe, they refer to you as a doctor of wine. So with us, a doctor is a cooling breeze. And I love how it applies to the name. You got to try this wine. This is one of my favorites.
Say no.
My children need to stand up and speak for themselves. So
A little bit more, yeah, like bolder in colour.
it is, and there's a little bit of a brownish hue to it, or a tarnished sort of what we call bricking. It looks like red brick. That bricking, when you actually co-ferment the Viognier on the edge, it starts out very bright purple. This is 2017 vintage, which is our current release. Again, we don't talk about vintage, but with a couple years of bottle age to it, that's when it really hits its straps. So when you smell it again, yeah, it's got that nectarine. It's almost got like a citrus blossom, jasmine. It's floral. You know what I mean? Like you smell it, go. It doesn't smell like red wine. It's got a little bit of that briary character.
That's very nice. And what would you recommend to eat with this?
Oh, come on. This is lamb country.
Lamb?
Oh, absolutely. I have to. I mean, I love lamb lollipops. Breaded with some lovely Mediterranean herbs in it. Just cooked with some fresh McLarenville olive oil and some couscous. This is my go-to. Little yogurt tzatziki and stuff.
Yum. Is that a Greek god on the label, or it looks like a?
It's the god of wine. He's got the cornucopia, which is the horn of plenty, which is our wine. So to me, you know, the Lake Doctor is the more masculine of our two entry-level Shirazes. We've always been known for Lake Doctor and our chocolate factory. McLarenville Shiraz is very primary, fruit-driven. It's like having a big chunk of Black Forest cake in your gob, and it's very fruit-driven, whereas this has more of that complexity and earthiness and textural, and it's more what I refer to as masculine styles. Because you smell it and you go, wow, it's elegant and feminine and just juicy. Really, and as soon as you put it in your mouth.
That's very nice.
I like drinking these wines because the acid structure I get from that Viognier co-fermentation helps relax the tannins and give it a little bit more acid structure like a white wine. But it is a food wine, guaranteed. This is one of the best food wines that we make. It can go with anything that's got protein to it that you want to break down. So if you want to look at meats, that's fine, but even like soybeans. So if you're looking at tofu, tofu with this is fantastic. You get lovely deep fried tofu with a spicy chili, dried chili. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really good. Diverse wine. Love it. Every wine I make has a purpose, a story, and an individual
that's
experience.
what I like about it.
And you know what? Every wine needs to be a bit different. We just have a house style, and it's keeping that line.